What's up, everybody? Welcome to my Cowboys family here at MCF for another Cowboys chat. A little recap of our last game, Monday Night Football victory we had there against the Raiders. And now we get the much hated Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts comes into town. You see him right there. He's scared. He's scared. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens this weekend. Nothing to lose for our Cowboys. I'm going to talk about it here tonight with you all, with the family in the house. Hopefully, everybody, as the wife always says, hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like for the stream, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the notification bell to all videos because we drop shorts. Those video shorts. That sounded weird. Every day, multiple times a day. So check those out. Usually they're pretty good. And of course, any video or any breaking news will go live. And of course, these twice a week streams. This one and game day stream. This is the preview stream, and then we have the game day stream. So that's of course coming Sunday, 4:25 p.m. Eastern time. Adjust accordingly to your time zone, guys. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to all videos and hit the like button for the stream. It helps the channel out in a great way. And you can also come in here and say something in the chat so I can shout you out in a minute. But first, we're going to shout out those that rep this channel, and they makes it go round and round. Round we go. Right here. You see him right there with 46 points on the stream boss, Mr. John Luna. He's the stream boss, but he's been the boss of the channel for about 3/4 of the year, and we're at the end of it. So shout out to the sponsor of the month, back to back, like our 90s Cowboys. Even though John Luna is a Houston Texans fan, he's repping it here, my Cowboys family. Shout outs to Mr. John Luna, his friend Charlie. Check out the information. He's the big winner for the last 2 months. He's the big sponsor. So shout outs to him. And that comes with perks. We'll explain that a little later. But big thank you to Mr. John Luna for all the love he's dropped here and all the support for the channel. Also, gotta shout out those that rep. That's the Fan Friday. It's the silver, the over everything, the star level, all the people in there. We got Aussie repping in the star level. See if anybody jumps into that star level with him. And at the silver level, we have the top dog bay bullies, Dwayne Broussard. We have Mr. Justin Quarles, the Q Man, and A. Lavelle, the longest running member here at My Cowboys Family. It's been like 55 months, 60 months. It's a lot. Shout out to the man, A. Lavelle, all you guys on all our levels and the Navy Blue crew as well. Now, I didn't even shout out. I just shouted out John Luna here as a stream boss and as our sponsor of the month. But you have Skeptical Fan, who's the king of the Cash App, and he's wearing that crown proudly, repping that top spot there. And usually he was the last month's gifting champion. This month's current winner, Citizen Z. Shout out to him. Citizen Z gifting 5 memberships last month. So shout outs to people that help out the channel that way as well. Now there is nobody on the board on the gifting side, so that's wide open. When it comes to the Cash App side, there is a couple drops. One that happened yesterday, 2 days ago, and that was his off-stream drop, and that comes from the man, the Lunatic. Much love to the Lunatic, dropping the love there. He jumps into the mix, not in first place though on the Cash App. He is second place, I think, on the Cash App. He is moving up on the board though, on the overall board. The leader in the Cash App is none other than Calvin Richard. Yes, he's in there. He's the top spot currently. We'll see if anybody knocks him off the top before the end of the month, which it was just basically one game and then a Thanksgiving game away. So calling it a month here for as far as most live streams will go on this channel. I think our next game in December is the 4th. So yeah, we'll probably go live on the 1st or something. So yeah, so that's once we get past the Eagles and Thanksgiving against the Chiefs, we're gonna call it a month here, and we're gonna see who wins this thing. So shout outs to everybody on the leaderboard. Shout outs to everybody that's currently repping the top spot for the month. And I always have to give all the different ways of dropping the love. You can support the channel, which is like the normal YouTube way. They love to take 35% of that, but just letting you guys know how this breaks down. But yes, the super chats are one way of doing it. Hey, much love to Dustin Bagwell, part of the family now officially, part of my Cowboys family. But yeah, that Yeah, you can be, you can drop, you can hit a little dollar sign and drop a super chat. You can hit the thanks button anytime. It doesn't have to be when we're live on any video. Once it's posted, it could be a short, it could be a video, it could be a live stream. You can hit a thanks button there, and then we put you on the leaderboard through that as well. That's all through YouTube. There's also the memberships, which, by the way, shout outs to everybody in the memberships. I know we had a couple people kind of fall off here, but probably hopefully get most of them back on. They're all timers. I know we had Dwayne Broussard, Tony Wimbish, Amanda Hanslu, all back in the membership. So shout out to them, and of course gifting memberships, which goes hand in hand with that as well. So if you're in the membership, you can gift membership. And if you do that, you can, get up on that board. Citizen Z repping it last month with 5. So far, nobody on the board for gifting memberships. Then you see here 4 other ways of supporting the channel. The After Dark way, as I like to call it here, MCF After Dark style. Cash App King. It's the Cash App, of course, dollar sign My Cowboys Family. Venmo at My Cowboys dash Cowboys dash Family. PayPal, which is My Cowboys Family. It's our email, mycowboysfamily at gmail.com. There's also another direct way of doing it through PayPal. And then the message on screen, which is just like dropping like a super chat, except you're going through Streamlabs. Not StreamYard, Streamlabs, which is the program I'm using right now to run this stream. As you can see, our upcoming game, it is the Eagles at the Cowboys. That's coming up here in a few days on Sunday afternoon. But we're going to talk quickly about there's 2 or 3 little factors about the Raider game and move on to injuries, roster moves, possible salary cap, and we keep certain players type situations, and then of course the game, the rivalry against the fucking Eagles. I hate the Eagles. Now, I will say also, let me go back up a little farther. You can see the goal. If we get 10 people that drop $5 or more in the super chat, or really anyway, if we hit that 10, we right now are one out of 10, so we have 9 more spots available. Every spot, it could be the same person, it could be all different people. But we'll put you all in a raffle, pick 4 names out of that, and put you in the major raffle for the jersey. That's kind of a side way of getting into this thing, which is usually just reserved for memberships. But this situation is one way of getting in without the membership side. So if you say, "What are you talking about?" I'm saying this right here. It says quarterly. That was for the off season when we did this, but it's monthly right now. The monthly jersey raffle. It will, once we get into the off season, it'll be quarterly again. But for the monthly jersey raffle, every star level member gets 1 raffle entry. Over everything level member gets 2 raffle entries, and the monthly winner, which in this case is Mr. John Luna, would get a raffle entry as well. Now that's it. That's usually the way it goes, right? He's got 4, 5, 6, membership, entries total, and that's it. But again, anybody who hits, if we hit the 10, right now we have 9 to go. If we hit 10, bullseyes to hit the goal, total. Everybody who hit it, every name in there. If you hit it 3 times, you get your name 3 times into the raffle, and I'll do it right here on stream and pull the 4 names and put you immediately into this raffle. And again, it's not just Cowboy jerseys. I know even though 90% are Cowboy fans, it's any sport, any team, any player. It can be your own name customized on the back of the jersey. So hey, if you win, you deserve to choose your jersey that you specifically want. It could be old school, new school, different styles, colors. Whatever we have available is yours to pick from. So hey, it's a bonus right there. Give a little love back to the family. Now let's get it rolling here with some football news. And as we get closer, let me shout out the people in the house. Life always does is a good way. Hey, I wanted to explain to everybody. Unfortunately, MCW is not feeling very well. He is sick as can be. So unfortunately, she has. I hope not the flu. She's getting a little body aches. I don't think it's COVID, but the problem is that I'm starting to get sick too. So we're both getting. She's kind of on the hardest part of it right now. So I love seeing her here next to me on the screen, but she's actually sleeping right now, taking took medication. She was going to jump on the stream tonight, but there was no way she could make it. So wishing the best. I hope you guys, obviously, if you're watching a replay or watching it now, the wife is just trying to work off this cold. We did go to the Warp Tour, in Florida. So there's 100,000 people or so we were passing by the whole day for 12 hours. I'm sure we're all sick because of that. So she's sick. I had a little sore throat too. It might have been the dust, but now she's definitely sick. She's taking medication. She's resting. She barely made it through the work week. I have been like it's been mild for me, so I'm hoping that I'm kind of got it already and it's out of me. But if not for the game, it's gonna suck. For the game against the Eagles, I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick and she'll be at the tail end of her sickness. So we'll see what happens. We will see. We will see. It'll be a roll of the dice. Let's see what happens. Now, shout outs to everybody in the house. We had a pre-stream drop who hit the first bullseye tonight. Skeptical fan. He said 24-21 Cowboys beat the Eagles. And that's surprising. He said Cowboys by 3 because he's skeptical. He said Aubrey comes in the clutch late in the fourth quarter. Hey, the wife's gonna be wearing number 17. It's no surprise. It's no secret here. He's going with number 17, Brian and Aubrey. She's waiting for that record to be broken. Unfortunately, Cam Little did it in Jacksonville, 68 yards. So now it's going to be 69, 6-9, or 70, which would be nice. Hit that 70 field goal yard. Field goal. Can you imagine a 70-yard field goal being made in the NFL? That's crazy, but it seems like it's going to happen sooner than later. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully it's Brandon Aubrey. Hopefully it's this weekend. So we'll see what happens. What's up to Texas Twister in the house? Appreciate you in here dropping in. We got Jeremy Betts who's able to watch with us tonight. Welcome in and sit back, relax, grab a stogie, let's chill. You can see all the information there to get memberships, to get gifted memberships, to drop the love, to hit the like, all different ways in there. Azteca Aguilar, puro pinche Cowboys. Much love to you. Dallas Cowboys 908. What's up? We're gonna hopefully we turn them into turkeys. You'll see what happens. When we talk about the Eagles, you'll see what I'll put up on the screen to represent the Eagles. And if you don't know, now you're gonna know. But there are a couple emojis. We're gonna put it that way, right? Of the Eagles. Yeah, I still have. I'm gonna go 2-2 here just to start it off. I do have a couple more that I'll probably be adding for the game. That you see them right there. If you're in the membership, you got them. The e-gals, the e-girls, and the hooked up turkey-legged Eagles. Yeah. So let's see what's in the house here. Azteca Aguilar, Dallas Cowboys 908. Pigeon soup, he said. We're going to make out of them. I don't know if we're going to the playoffs yet, Dallas Cowboys. I'd calm down on that. We got to win out pretty much. I wouldn't get overconfident. I would just be like, let's see if we do a good job in this first step here. Now, we got Seabass in the house. Much love to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. She is unfortunately sick with a cold. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, and I'm actually I'm getting the beginnings of the sick. I can feel it even just talking now. I can feel myself getting sick. So I gotta stick to the script tonight unless you guys drop some love or some kind of super chat and it diverts me and I'll answer the question. But I'm gonna stick with the script tonight and try to get to the news. Yes, I will. I will tell her Seabass, Dallas Cowboys for life. You know what happens. Hey, I don't know. I'm not, you know what, Seabass? I don't even care. I don't care how many people watch. I'm going to do it no matter what, and I'm going to top my Cowboys. And if we have one person asking questions, we're going to do it that way. But I'm going to go through this. I'm going to go through this and go through the information. I know I go late, and we don't go. We used to go every night, so it was a lot different. And now we cannot go every night because of our schedules. So it is what it is. It's the way. It's the way of the world. What can you do? Kenzie Band's in the house. Much love to you. Sean Hopkins here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who cares what the Eagles cry? Eagles cry. Fuck the Eagles. DC for life says 42-17 Cowboys payback from week one. I'm looking for a little revenge. Kenzie Bands gives his number, his guesstimation there. 37-23 Cowboys win. Dak owns the Eagles. Thank you, Mr. Seabass. Hype it up. Appreciate you. Uh, hey, I appreciate you big time, Mr. Seabass. Hey, listen, it is what it is. Here on My Cowboys Family, it's time to break down some cowboy information, news, and info, and that's what I'm all about. I collect it through the week, and try to make sure I get you guys the most up to date stuff. Although sometimes do fall through the cracks. That's why you guys are in the house, hopefully, and helping out on that side as well. So let's go through this here. First and foremost, crazy situation as you saw this in last Sunday's game, where Jamar Chase from the Bengals receiver spit in the face of Jalen Ramsey. He got fined for a game similar to what happened to Dak Prescott against the Eagles, right? Week one, Jalen Carter gets spit at Dak Prescott, thrown out before the game even started. So they counted that as a suspension. It was a 1 game suspension for him. Same thing is happening to Jamar Chase. He's getting a 1 game suspension, which, by the way, he appealed. The appeal was denied. So Chase will now be forced to sit out this Sunday's game against the Patriots. He's forfeiting over $507,000 in lost wages. So big hit or a little spit right there. Don't spit. That's the rule. Now we're gonna get to, we did beat the Raiders, I would say pretty handedly on Monday Night Football there in front of the world, and it was nice to see the Cowboys do their thing. But I was looking more towards the players that came in and helped us out, and I do look at Quentin Williams. He's a big piece to helping this entire defense. He's like a Micah Parsons impact, in my opinion. You have Logan Wilson, who is just learning right now, learning. And you got the green dot. Kenneth Murray did a good play knocking the ball up, and we got a pick. But I think that Logan Wilson is just a solid middle linebacker who's going to make all the run stopping tackles with, especially when you have Kenny Clark and you can throw Osa in there, but you got Kenny Clark and you got Quinton Williams. And they're the ones taking up all the blocking, and you got easy money, easy pickings for any linebacker we got back there, including Overshone, Louis Fowl, Logan Wilson when he's fully involved in the scheme of Everfluss's defense, and of course Kenneth Murray. One second, guys. Hmm. Just having a little water. Um, but you're going to see, unfortunately, there's going to be one guy that's not going to be in that linebacking core. We'll talk about him in a minute. But let me talk about this game here where we roughed up the Raiders pretty badly. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer said that linebacker DeMarvion Overshone, number 0, Agent 0, and cornerback Savon Ravel Jr., rookie. Both these guys playing their first game this year. Of course, Ravel is a rookie, so it's his first game of his career. Overshone, first game of the year, tore both his knees last year, but less than a year ago. Back in the field, played a great game, played more snaps than expected. Ravel played very physical, much more mature than expected as a rookie. So, according to Schottenheimer, for this upcoming Eagles game, they're going to be on a similar pitch count, similar snap count, so to speak. So, that they had on Monday night, Schottenheimer said, quote, these pitch counts are a little flexible depending on the type of game and where it's going. So again, a lot of third downs. You can see a lot more Overshone, a lot more Ravel. So it's just the way it's going to go. Now, Everfluss did speak as well about rookie cornerback Savon Ravel Jr. made his debut on Monday night. He said, this is what the defensive coordinator coach said, Matt Everfluss. Quote, he's great. He's big. He's tall, strong guy. I love his stop and start ability. He can really stop on those transition routes. He's got really good length. He's a no-house guest corner. He tackles. He's a good tackler, sound tackler. I'm excited about where he's going. So great start in my opinion for uh, Savon Ravel Jr. doing his thing out there, being a good tackler, which is I think is an important factor for the Cowboys to make sure you solidify the edges when the run game hits us. So you need Ravel in there and making tackles. So he's a solid tackler, um, physical player, big cornerback, and it would have been probably a second round pick if it wasn't for his injury. He ended up being Cowboys. What was he, the third round pick for the Cowboys? There, fifth round pick. So yeah, Rebel Jr. is going to be somebody who already has impacted the Cowboys, in my opinion. Now, when Schottenheimer was asked about the other cornerbacks or other players in general that stood out on the team, I guess you could say any position, but you look at offense, he said number 19, Ryan Flournoy, who was playing for his buddy Marshawn Nealon against the Raiders. They were very close. There's also a new video out there with Dak and Marshawn Nealon doing a commercial out there, so I'll probably try to post that just so you guys can check that out as well. Unfortunately, very sad situation there, but Flournoy definitely stood out. He's having a fantastic season, Ryan Flournoy. And then on defense, he said, you know, Solomon Thomas, when he's on that field, of course, he didn't play his last game against the Raiders. He stands out on film. They actually said Elijah Clark, which is surprising, and Reddy Stewart, which is holding down that slot nickel cornerback spot right now in the Everfluss defense. So um, good stuff there. Good news there, I guess you get from our secondary. Steinheimer did say on the offensive side there was going to be a competition, an open competition at the right tackle position. Terrence Steele. Yeah. So when you look at Terrence Steele, you're thinking, okay, what's going to be the situation with him? Is he going to lose his job against Max Crosby, who's one of the best defensive edge rushers in the league? They had basically 16 reps together against each other when they played against each other. Terrence Steele versus Max Crosby, they went against each other 16 times. They had 15 one-on-one reps without any help for Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele only allowed two pressures and no sacks. So I would say that Terrence Steele responded to that challenge of the open competition at right tackle in a very good way. So at least he woke up a little bit, played better there. On the other side, left tackle, Tyler Guyton allowed only one pressure and zero sacks on 34 passing dropbacks, despite being on one blocking scenarios for almost 80%, 79.4% of his pass protection reps, he was on ones. So basically, 20% of the time he had help. That's it. That's it. Tyler Guy on the left side doing very well as well. So that's kind of you can see the maturation of the tackles. Hopefully, Terrence Steele can continue to get better in the sense of like regain the one good year he had with us. But I'm not really too much on that train. But I think Tyler Guyton, who's kind of just second year guy, he definitely can do that, and it's good to see him getting better and better every week. Versus Max Crosby, Tyler Guyton, we Terrence Steele allowed two pressures. Tyler Guyton had allowed zero pressures against Max Crosby. So again, he had. I would say this: we also remember Tyler Guyton faking that. I would say exaggerating that hit to the face. That he did get punched in the face in the helmet, so they did throw the flag, but he fell down acting pretty obvious soccer style acting. Uh, but yeah, more importantly, zero pressures allowed for Tyler Guyton, and basically on 34 passing dropbacks, he was on one blocking scheme for 79.4% of the time. Great job by both Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton in this game against Max Crosby and against the overall Raiders. Now, before I get to the next subject, which I'm going to jump to the offense here and finish it off, because I'm going to get into some signing possibilities. I'm curious to the few people. I know it's not many, 10, 15 people in here, on and off. I want you guys to give me your opinions on what you think about the possibilities of keeping some of our big surprising names, you can say, trade wise, whether Pickens, Quentin Williams, and others, about keeping these guys or not. I want to know what you think about them. But let me look in here to in the chat here. Aztec Aguilar, happy birthday to his 75th birthday to his father. We're taking a shot, maybe on the After Dark channel for an hour tonight. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I might have a little time to do that, but I'm worried. I'm focusing on the Cowboys tonight. And Seabass said, "Gotta keep your spit to yourself." Yeah, hey, you spit, you get fined at least one game. Been a while. I see you, Captain DCW, in the house. Much love to you, man. It has been a while. Congrats on your Broncos. Are looking good. They beat our ass. Shout outs to DCW in the house, man. He's awesome. He's an OG. Much love to him. Easy pickings at Seabass. They expect Ravel, Agent Zero to look as good as locked in as they did. Very surprised. Me too. And the amount of snaps they played surprised me. They played them as well in important scenarios and more towards the end of the game, which again, or not towards the end of the game, but like important portions of the game, which is putting a lot of, I'll say, trust into your, whether they're rookies that come off of injuries or just guys coming off injuries, immediately putting the pressure on them, and they responded in a very good way. I'll be drinking water tonight, guys, throughout. Um, so Azteca said he got hurt in September 2024. That way he was more than ready to go. I thought he got injured. Yeah, he got injured. They both got injured in. Well, Overshawn was injured less than a year ago, so that's kind of amazing that he's back with both of those knee injuries he had. I think he tore all three of his ligaments in there too. Um, Seabass said Rel is way bigger than ESPN had listed him. He's not 6 feet. He's actually 6'2", 195. He's got long arms, short torso with long legs. So one of those more physical type defenders because of his attributes. I agree, and I talked about that a minute ago about the fact that just the way he played, he was not manhandling the I would say the Zaire Elam position. Trayvon Diggs' spot, so to speak, right now. So we're looking like, what do you think's going to happen when Trayvon Diggs does come back? is I think if he does come back, some people say he won't be back again. I think he will be back with the Cowboys in a week or two. When he comes back on that field, uh, if you're playing a little more press with Trayvon, which the Cowboys have done a little more overall, playing more press, more man coverage. Um, will you have a Bland being able to be in the slot? You're going to have a Ravel in the corner on one side and a Trayvon Diggs on the other side. That would be interesting, you know. You got Reddy Stewart, who's ready to go in the nickel corner if needed. You know, you got Bland there who can move to the outside if needed, and Reddy Stewart can step in there in the nickel. So there's a lot of options for the Cowboys, and I kind of I like the future of it more than I like this year. Oh, we're gonna make the no, we're not making the playoffs this year. I doubt it, but I'm still looking. I watch every game and analyze, and I like to see what's going on for what's next for the Cowboys. So I have an idea, not to be blindsided by stuff. So we'll see what happens there, but yeah. Azteca said Ravel can play safety as well. He's a big hitter type. So I'm looking forward to the way he's going to be using this game against the Eagles as he gets his second game under his belt in his career in the NFL for Mr. Ravel Jr. Now, let's talk about the offense. Dak Prescott having a fucking hell of a season, having some weapons as well. And even though it's a young offensive line, Dak Prescott's playing like a champion out there, in my opinion. Dak Prescott against the Raiders, and again, it is the Raiders. So against the better teams, Dak doesn't have the best stats, but he's had an overall very good year. I'd say he's easily top 10 quarterback this year, and in some portions of the season, top five, the top three quarterback. But against the Raiders, 25, he was 25 for 33. 33 attempts, 25 completions, definitely not bad at all. Out of those 25 catches, amounted to 268 yards passing. He had four touchdowns in the air and a total of 138.6 passer rating. So efficient, accurate, no interceptions, no mistakes in a major way. A lot of touchdowns, good completion percentage, a lot of yardage. Everything is there. Dak Prescott, field day against the Raiders. Secondary, and again, I talked about the offensive line blocking. That's a big reason why. Offensive line is what gave Dak a little bit extra time to have the play develop and hit his receivers. Even though I think that Dak also helped his own situation by moving around, finding the open spot in the pocket, the comfortable spot, setting, locking and loading. And that was what Dak was doing on a consistent basis against the Raiders. Again, shitty defense nonetheless. Now, I think the next group of guys I want to talk about, kind of hand in hand, is going to lead me into you want to sign everybody I'm about to talk about here because we have CD Lamb and we have Mr. George Pickens in the house. This dynamic duo showed out. What a performance by both these guys. I mean, when we start off with CD Lamb, he had 5 catches. Not great, not a crazy amount, right? But 5 catches for 66 yards. All right, not crazy, but decent. And a touchdown, which is always good to see in there. And then you had George Pickens, who had a monster game, 9 catches for him, four more than CeeDee Lamb, 9 catches for 144 yards. So you're looking at almost 78 yards more than CeeDee Lamb, and a touchdown as well. So CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens dominated. Total of 14 catches, a total of over 200 yards receiving, and a total of 2 touchdowns between both guys. And remember, they did not even play the first snap, this first drive of the game. Both guys were benched. What were the reasons for the benching? You guys know? Well, I do. CeeDee Lamb actually spoke about this. CeeDee Lamb told reporters that he and George Pickens were out after curfew on Sunday night before the game on Monday night. They were out on Sunday night at the Red Rock Casino Resort in Las Vegas. And they're out there gambling, having fun, got back late. And Lamb said that he was not throwing up like some people on social media said he was puking all over the place. He said he was not vomiting, which is interesting that he's defending himself there. But basically, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, both these guys were disciplined by Schottenheimer because they're out partying the night before the game. in Las Vegas, where basically there's partying going on constantly. So CeeDee Lamb took ownership to that, um, and they had a great game in response to that. So in a way, it kind of worked out there. So um, they set out the punishment was you sit out the first offensive series, which for the Cowboys was 3 plays and punt. So that's how important both these guys are. The Cowboys, though, Schottenheimer stuck to his guns on this. Jerry Jones said this when talking about CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens missing the curfew when they were in Vegas. Jerry Jones was asked if he has a problem with players having parties and partying the night before a game. Jerry Jones said, yes, yes, I do. But I don't have any problem with the partying. But the idea is that this is a business trip. So you don't party on business trips is what he's trying to say. Now we know about the White House. Michael Irvin and all the Cowboys are partying there all the time. They wouldn't do it during before a game necessarily. They would do it on their days off. um, and they were in Vegas to for business, not for pleasure. They were in Vegas not to have a week there to chill. They were there for 2 days to practice and play some football. So actually understand and agree with what Jerry Jones is saying. So before I get into the next portion of things, I'll hit up the chat real quick. Again, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. But I want to know what you guys are going to think about keeping some of our guys that we are, like I've been talking about here on offense, and you'll see some I'll talk about on defense here in a moment. But shout outs to everybody here. Hit the like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. Jump in the membership if you want. Gift if you like. Gift memberships always a great way of helping the channel. I hope I'm doing it in the right spot here. But and shout outs to Mr. Skeptical Fan and the Lunatic who hit the bullseye tonight so far on our stream. For this stream, we got what 9 spots open before we can celebrate officially. Uh, if someone wins the four people would win the raffle entry or raffle entry into the big raffle. Basically, it will be done sometime in the first week of December. So, anyways, as we continue this thing, um, let me see here. Did I hit everybody's chat? I think I did. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Yeah. If I hit everybody up already down there, so we're good. We're caught up there. So let me ask you guys about these spaces that we've had made available on the cap. And I guess even before I even put Pickens on, I might as well put Jerry Jones up on the screen for this and take a sip of water because it's going to get interesting, I think. A lot of people kind of saying what I was saying about these deals opening up $23 million on average a year for the Cowboys. We kind of have Dak's money already kind of accounted for on the cap in a way. Kind of have CeeDee Lamb's money already accounted for in the cap. So that money's not really needed for those guys. So who could it be? Who could we use that money on? Hmm. Possible trades that we've made and kind of capitalize on those trades for a couple extra years. Could that be possible? Will we be able to even do that shit with the way Jerry Jones does this stuff and Stephen Jones does this salary cap fucking, dealings here. I hope so, Nate Rosario in the house. I hope we beat the Eagles. They are the favorites, I think, by 3.5. So what's the Cowboys' outlook after acquiring Quentin Williams from the Jets, acquiring Logan Wilson for a seventh-round pick from the Bengals? That's cheapness right there. That's a good deal for the Cowboys, but he's only here for the rest of his contract. Like Kenny Clark, is he a guy we can re-sign at the end of the year? And of course, um, you know, George Pickens. So trade that sent Micah Parsons to the Packers. We ended up getting Pro Bowler Kenny Clark who, like Quentin Williams and Oso Digizua, are under contract for the next year and a half or 2 years. So for Kenny Clark, he's under contract through 2027. So he's here next year, guys, and he's here the year after that. If the Cowboys want to pay him 20 whatever million it is for him, that's the Cowboys' option. As far as Quentin Williams, I think that he needs to. He's the bigger option to stay, but better than Kenny Clark. So, but he's also going to be more expensive. So, will the Cowboys end up using some of this 23 million a year for someone like him? Um, I think that what Quentin Williams, he's through. He's under contract to 2027. Odigizua is under contract to 2028. So, any kind of extension being granted to Kenny Clark and or Quentin Williams prior to the expiration of their existing deals, um, you know, could be possible. We could possibly get a better deal on a deal with these guys after making big trades for them. So, um, on game day, Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams would be qualified as the starters on game day because first down we put our bigger guys in. So that means that Oso Digizua getting 20 million a year we've just paid him would be looked upon as a backup, believe it or not. So, um, and I think Solomon Thomas, number 90, who missed last week's game, he's going to be back in this game. He's an important rotational piece on the interior, another big man inside. So, of course, no more Mozzie Smith to worry about and BSing about him. So, I think Oso Digizua and Solomon Thomas with the rotation of Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams is it's a very, very top notch defensive interior, which is something we haven't had since Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, since Russell Maryland. Let's be real. Let's be honest about this. So, after all these deals that were made, that Michael would have been $45 million. Quentin Williams this year is like seven. In the next couple of years, he's like 25 and 27. So, the question is, what do the Cowboys do with the cap space? Well, as of November 4th, as of right, as of what, 2 weeks ago, the Cowboys had $20.3 million open on the salary cap. That's probably been dropped down somewhat because of the Williams trade, Logan Wilson trade, whatever we have to pay of that portion this year. It bites into that a little bit, but we have a good 15 million left probably in there. So just so you guys know, this stuff here, um, when you put in Williams's remaining contract and you put in Quentin Williams' remaining contract for the year, and you put in Logan Wilson's remaining contract for the year, it's still a low hit, but nonetheless, probably eats up 5 million of that $20 million in cap space. So um, the Cowboys are on the hook right now for about $64 million next year in 2026 to their defensive tackle positions alone. So the Cowboys cannot stay at that spot. So um, some of these guys won't be here, obviously, won't be able to get signed back. But does that mean that um, we're going to be able to offer an extension to someone like George Pickens, number 3, our top receiver with our 1A, 1B with CeeDee Lamb and Pickens? So the way you do this, the way you can get this done, the way we can get all these guys re-signed if the Cowboys wanted to after trading for them. I'm going to reiterate these names: Kenny Clark, George Pickens, Quinton Williams, Logan Wilson. These 4 guys, if the Cowboys want to, we can roll over that $15 million from this year into next year. Then we restructure Osa Odighizuwa's contract. All right. So again, by extending Kenny Clark, defensive tackle, a starter, by extending the Pro Bowl, the possible Hall of Famer or future Hall of Famer, Quinton Williams, if we were to extend these guys past 2027, their 2027 contracts, and then restructure, well, not even restructure, before that, if we just extend Kenny Clark and Quinton Williams, that's going to give us about $42 million of open cap space there. And again, on those 3 moves, I think you throw in there the Osa Odigizua restructure, and again, you're opening up almost $50 million in 2026, depending on how these extensions are constructed. Obviously, if we restructure Osa's contract, it'll be a less of a hit in 2026. Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams' hit in 2026 will be much less. That's the way the contracts will be structured in a kind of a staggering way. They get bigger cap hits as later in their I guess in their deal it goes. But by the Cowboys doing things this way, and this is the way the Cowboys have always done it. It's not going to be a surprise if they do this again. The Cowboys gain an upwards of $40 million, not in 2026, in 2027. If we pull these same triggers I just said and get guys like Kenny Clark signed and get guys like Clinton Williams signed, if we do this right here and restructure Osa, uh, I mean, by doing that right there, guys, we'll end up saving about $40 million in 2027, just naturally. To try to fill those positions. It would cost us $40 million to fill position those same spots in 2027. It would cost us a lot less to do that sooner than later. So again, we can sign these guys if we want to. There is zero reason, in my opinion, not to work. For this not to work and these deals not to be done early in the off season in 2026. So to me, you immediately see, Kenny Clark's under contract, Quentin Williams under contract. Extend them now, assuming everything works out to the end of the year. Extend them right sometime in May and sometime in March when the new league year starts. Extend these guys. I know they're not free agents. Extend them now. If you extend them now, you don't have to worry about them for 2, 3 years, and next year they're going to be worth double. They're going to be worth another 10 million on top if you wait an extra year and try to make a deal then. So if you sign Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams to an extension on both those guys and restructure Osa's contract, which is not even a choice of Osa, it's the Cowboys that choose to do that. We open up a lot of money, $42 million on the cap in 2026, and then we also open up $40 million on the cap in 2027. So money is open. Even if it hits us later on, we can absorb that. It's the way you structure it. So the Cowboys basically are averaging $41 million so far open this year. I mean, in 2026 and in 2027, if they want to. If the Cowboys end up doing that and they roll over the complete, let's say, $15 million that's existing right now from 2025, that's a minimum 55 million. Oh, 55 million. Yeah, $55 million right there, guys. Figure 40 plus another 15. You got 40. I'm sorry, $55 million that's sitting there with cap space. And again, if you do the restructure of Oso Digizua, you open up $62 million total on the salary cap next year without accounting for the annual increase of the overall league salary cap jump, which again usually goes up 15, $20 million every year. So if you add that on top of that as well, yeah, 10 million pays for the rookies, but the other 10 million of the salary cap just going up naturally is going to go into this pot of almost I would say $65 million of salary cap openings, and we just extended Kenny Clark, and we just extended Quentin Williams, and we restructured Osa Odigizua. And again, don't forget, we might have to cut some guys out there like Terrence Steele and a couple others and save another 10 or $14 million on the cap on those years. Even though we eat some money, we save money, more money than we eat on those years. So again, doing something like this, guys, having basically, let's just call it. I'm gonna lowball it. If we were to do those three things, restructure Osa, extend Kenny Clark, extend Quentin Williams. If we were to do that and stack the contracts correctly, the Cowboys would open at least $60 million on the salary cap, probably more, but at least $60 million on the salary cap, and you know maybe even more than that because of the annual increase of the salary cap. So when you look at about $60 million plus, you got Quentin Williams to 2029. You got Kenny Clark to 2028. You restructured Osa. You still got him to 2028. When you do these three moves, and you bring in the money we have left in 2025, $15 million into next year, you're going to have $65 million open on the salary cap. So then you ask me the question, Jerry Jones or anybody out there. You ask the question, how can we end up getting someone like George Pickens on this team? Well, we could. It's going to be the highest expensive, most expensive duo of receivers you have in the NFL. They're paying top dollar to CeeDee Lamb and Pickens, but it could happen if the Cowboys truly wanted to. There's more than enough money to get a deal done with someone like George Pickens, or at the very least, throw the franchise tag on him. If you do the franchise tag, because maybe you need a deal to get done. You need that extra time on a deal, so you can throw a franchise tag on him, get him an automatic 20 million a year. He's gonna want 30 million a year, and then you can make a deal maybe 27 with some incentives, and but that's gonna be half of our 60 million savings will go to George Pickens, more or less. So again, it'll be the same staggered way where next it won't hurt us that much in the first year or two. In the last years, we're going to be hit with like a $35 million fucking hit on him, but an out that we end up saving like $20 million. So again, in the end, the smart thing is to get this stuff done now, or not now, but in the off season when the season is completely over and the next in the before free agency starts, get Kenny Clark signed to an extension, get Quinn Williams signed to an extension, and restructure Osa Digizua, move over the money from last year. You might do have to have a couple June 1st cuts, but after that, you have enough money easily, easily sign George Pickens if you wanted to there, or franchise tag him and keep him on there, right? I think it's going to be $24 million fully guaranteed. So he would get $24 million at the very least, and it would hit the Cowboys cap as 24 million. That'd be worse for the Cowboys than for him, other than the fact that he could probably get 30 million a year on any place else, any other team. So, or maybe even more than that, the way he's playing. So again, to me, with the Cowboys having, I mean, no matter how much cap space to have and how much moves they have to re-sign some of our own guys, some rookies, we're gonna have easily $50 million open somewhere in there. It's gonna cost 24 million to get Pickens at the very least. So maybe you'll have to pay 30 if you want to get him on a longer contract. What do you think, Cowboys, Cowboy family out there? What do you all think on this? Because again, money is only a problem if the Cowboys decide to make it one. If the Cowboys decide to make, oh, it's the money, he's too expensive, we can't afford it, then the Cowboys don't want George Pickens. Just being honest. I'm just being honest. So let's see who's Mr. Seabass. I didn't even notice he had the brace on. Yep. Yeah, it was. But they had to retape that up, I think, in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Would I rather pay one guy as much as the Packers, or would you rather have three guys that much? And that's the thing, Seabass. That's what it comes down to. Would you want to have a Pickens, a Quentin Williams, and a Kenny Clark in there, and Logan Wilson, four guys for the price? I guess Pickens would be almost, he'd be a big chunk of that price, but still, 24 million for Pickens would be a steal. Parsons in command 45 million exactly on one guy. Osa. I'm not a big fan of the Osa trade though. I mean Osa's extension. With Quinton and Kenny all equate to 60 million, including Osa. So yeah, we're paying 15 million more to get three guys rather that can stop the run and the pass rather than one guy who can just stop the pass and is destructive, Micah. But so are these other guys, especially when you have Quinton Williams leading the crew there. So CBS said Dax had to be paid 75 million next year, restructuring that as well. So cutting Diggs, cutting Steele, that's going to open up like $20 million as on top of that. So post June 1st cut, so you're looking at that money won't be open until you know basically it's for the rookies to get signed, and then we'll still have 15, 20 million open from there that we'll have to use up. So either way, take care, Cowboys. I got you, man. I will be trying to get better and feel better. Thank you, Sean Hopkins. Appreciate you. Salary, exactly, Seabass. Salary going up is going to also give us an extra 10, $15 million on top of that, too. So we're going to be in great shape for the future. I'm Team Money, but I changed my name. That's right, Team Money. Much love to you, man. I appreciate you jumping in here. Don't forget to hit that like button and Hey, appreciate everybody's support in here and any way you guys can drop it. Now, dropping that info there, that's how we can easily get Kenny Clark, Quinn Williams, restructure Osa's contract, and then have more than enough room. I'm talking about $50 million room to play with for a George Pickens. So once again, it's not about if the Cowboys have the money. It's about if the Cowboys want to use that money on a George Pickens. Now, as I get back into the mix of the actual upcoming game here, we're getting closer to that. What are some of the roster moves the Cowboys had? Well, we released a player from the practice squad, center Wesley French. Now he's gone on the waiver list there, now a free agent. Um, Cowboys then immediately signed offensive lineman Nick Leverett to the practice squad. So he's on. I think he might have been on there before. Someone took him and released him. Well, the Cowboys got him back. The Cowboys got Nick Leverett on the practice squad. Now we did take off a guy last week, right before the game, activating defensive tackle Perion Winfrey, number 99. Now that he's activated off of IR officially, off of that 21-day window, he is now thrown into the mix. And one of our depth tackles, let's put it that way, maybe our fifth or sixth guy. If you listen to the guys we have, Quentin Williams, who's our best, Kenny Clark, who's our second best. These are our starting guys to start off games. Osa Odigizua and Solomon Thomas. And that's the next level of guys. To me, they both kind of play similar positions. So I'm curious how they do that. And then the other two guys, Perion Winfrey and Jay Toya, right? Is that what I'm saying? Toya, Jay Toya, and Perion Winfrey are both defensive tackles inside. So you have to see Winfrey would probably jump Solomon Thomas on some things, um, while Toya, will probably jump Biggie Zoo on some things. We'll see what happens, but that's kind of the way it looks on our new look kind of defensive tackle spot there. So moving Winfrey on our 53-man roster meant that we had to waive somebody on our team. And I talked about linebackers earlier. And this linebacker, just never, he was kind of my dark horse to kind of win here when we got him with Quinn in the fourth round a couple years back, 4 years back. Linebacker Damone Clark. What a disappointment he's been. Unfortunately, injuries have hurt him the most. Brian Schottenheimer said this about waiving Damone Clark. Quote, what an incredible young man he is. In my conversation with Damone, I said, hey, man, your career is just getting started. Sometimes change is good. I really believe that. That's not bullshit. Oop, dropped my phone. And again, I don't think that is you know, the way that kind of Schottenheimer's kind of breaking things down there when it comes to waiving Damone Clark. He's giving him his props, getting his career started, but the changes was needed for Damone Clark, in my opinion. Um, and he's saying that's not bullshit, But in reality, Damone Clark, after that first injury, wasn't it against who was it against? Was it against the Giants quarterback? What's his name? It's not with the Colts. I forgot. I can't believe I forgot his name. The Eli replacement. I mean, I thought that he might have got hurt on that play with Damone Clark. Either way, uh, he's off the team, Damone Clark. That's it. And the Cowboys moved on from him. So now the Cowboys, kind of lessened a little bit the linebacking core, although it sounds like, the Cowboys are kind of happy there, and strengthened the interior three tech, one tech defensive tackles that we have inside. Like I said, Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, Oso Digizua, Solomon Thomas, Perion Winfrey, and Jay Toia. These are our six guys for two spots. A lot of rotation there. Brian Schottenheimer, the head coach, said that earlier in the week, said that Dak Prescott injured? Dak Prescott had a hip injury, according to the injury report. And Schottenheimer said that Dak's dealing with a, quote, hip injury, and it's nothing major. So that was the beginning of the week. Next practice, they had a media day. Dak, was asked about his hip. Dak said his hip is fine. He added that he was a full participant on Thursday's practice, which he was. So obviously, we knew he was going to end up playing, and I think Wednesday was a walkthrough, anyways. But when you see the final practice report came out today, whew, excuse me, Dak is all good, guys. Dak is good to go. Dak, back to back full participation in practice, no game status designation to, whether he's not questionable or anything like that. So that means that Dak Prescott is 100% good to go against the Eagles. No issues there. And a lot of these guys that were banged up or whatever may be here, Dante Fowler, Malik Hooker, Tyler Smith, Solomon Thomas, Donovan Wilson, Perion Winfrey, all these guys full practice on a Friday. Most of them full practice on Thursday. So and no game designation. Everybody there is playing that I just mentioned. The only two guys that might not be playing are listed, and again, these guys are listed as questionable. Hakeem Ajidani, which again had an injury literally happen on Friday, did not practice today, and remained questionable. The fact that it happened so late into the practice, and into the third practice. I mean, I just don't see any way he's going to be able to get into this game and play here. So Clowney, Jadavian Clowney, he has again. When you look at Keem Adani, he got injured today, so that's going to be a quicker turnaround to be ready to go against the Eagles on Sunday. But Jadavian Clowney, he had a shoulder neck issue, and he was limited all week, basically Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday today. So he had a listed as a questionable for the game. Number 42 would kind of be needed, I would say. Let me get Dak off of there. Dak's good to go. So it'd be good to have Clowney in the mix, but he is listed as questionable. Just keep an eye on that when it comes to edge rushers, because he's kind of been starting a little bit there. So but again, back to the inside when you have Solomon Thomas, by the way, good to go. So he missed last week against the Raiders, but he's fully back this week at home against the Eagles. So you got Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, Osa Digizua, Solomon Thomas. You got Perion Winfrey, who's 100% to go, and Jay Toia, the rookie. And that's going to be our interior defensive line. That's pretty fucking good. Now, you want to know something that's really, really bad? A team. Let's call it Philadelphia. Fuck you, fucking Eagles. I hate the Eagles. Fuck Eagles. Their injury report, guys, pretty simple. Lane Johnson, we knew it. He's going to miss a bunch of weeks. He has a foot injury. Lane Johnson is very good, a top tackle in the NFL for many years, still one of the better ones. Did not practice all week. Had a foot injury. He's out for the game, which we knew was going to happen. Now, we had a full practice from Jalen Phillips, who was a little banged up earlier with a shoulder. He was just resting. He's good to go. He's ready to go at Dak Prescott. Then we have Cam Jurgens, who is the starting center, I think, for the Eagles. He is questionable with a concussion still. So I don't know if this is getting his bearings together or something like that. So we'll have to wait and see for Cam Jurgens. He is questionable for this game. When I look at this, he has a concussion. I don't think he's going to be able to make it to the you know to game day and be out of concussion protocol. It's going to have to be something that happens tomorrow, as in Saturday, and see if he clears there. So if they're missing their center again, the Eagles, that offensive line, they kind of failed in that tush push once, I think, against the Lions last week. You need that center in there to do it right. So we'll see what happens with him. The other guys on here, Lane Johnson being out. The Cowboys got to kind of attack the outside. Will we have Jadavian Clowney? I don't know. He's questionable. Miles Hinton, he has a back issue, full practice, but he was listed as questionable. I will say Cam Jurgens, even though listed as questionable, he did have a full practice, so I think he'll be good to go. Willie Lampkin with a knee and an ankle, full practice and questionable. And like I said, no game status designation for Jalen Phillips with that shoulder injury. He was full practice today as well. So the Eagles are pretty good shape. Outside of Lane Johnson, there's a little bit of an issue there on the outside, when it comes to their offensive line and outside blocking there. So I would say they're a little bit in trouble there. And the Cowboys should try to take advantage of that. Although I will say Our lacking is not interior on defense. Our lacking is on the outside on defense. Let me check out here real quick. Couple quick comments in here. Seabass. Solomon's back, Seabass. He's good to go. Winfrey's back this week. He's good to go. Um, Salary cap is mythical. Agree there, Seabass. No problem. Said Dallas Cowboys R1, or we know the OG name there. Let's see here. We got hey, Meatball Ron in the house. We're gonna get your Eagles this week. Hopefully, cook them up a little bit. What's up, Meatball Ron? Vic Fangio. I will say Vic Fangio is a good defensive coordinator against the Cowboy offenses. It's always been that way. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in this one here. Cowboys in Dak always play well against the Eagles, no matter who's there. Um, yeah, Cowboy Eagle also good coordinator. Adams, yep. Clayton Adams versus Fangio. We'll see. Young versus old there. And bad coordinators in Everfluss and Patulos. So again, for the Eagles. So again, both offenses should be taking advantage of things here, I guess, in a way. Well, it'd be battles, good battles versus bad battles. So, yeah, I saw that too. Dallas Cowboys R1. Yeah, they were punching posters of Cowboy players in a Philadelphia school. It's probably for that show. Uh, what's that show? Abbott Elementary. Who knows? But either way, hey, they hate us, and you know why? Because they ain't us. That's so. Yeah, let them hate him. Let them hate us. Just adds fuel to the fire. Now, I want to know how to beat these fucking Eagles. They're 8-2. They're pretty damn good. Cowboys and Eagles are sitting right now, literally. Eagles are first, and the second place team in the NFC East are the Dallas Cowboys. Believe it or not. And of course, they're 8-2. We're 4-5-1. Unfortunately. Um, And the Eagles are trying to win their second straight Super Bowl, which hopefully won't happen. The Cowboys is the other team of the two top teams in the NFC East. I said that the top teams in the NFC East. Cowboys is the other team. Um, the Cowboys are just trying to win their second straight game, a back-to-back game. So the gap in the standings between both these teams have taken a little of the luster off of this usual great battle. But it's still, it's still a lot to play for, and a lot of things, a lot of mismatches and things where the Cowboys could take advantage against not a far from perfect Philadelphia Eagle team. Let's do that. So when I go through these things, guys, see if you can. First of all, some positivity here from the offense. The Cowboy offense averaging four. Our Cowboy offense is averaging 4.7 yards per rush attempt. So Dave, again, Javante Williams has over 800 yards. The last time we had a guy had over 800 yards was Ezekiel Elliott in 2019 in his rookie year. So, not in his rookie year, but my point here is in his third year. It is that we need to have like the fact that Javante Williams is up there with Zeke, one of the most efficient first 10 games of a season, is incredible. We need to keep working on that. So the Cowboys offense, averaging 4.7 yards per rush attempt this year, that is sixth best in the NFL. The Eagles, even though they have a good defense, they're allowing an average of 4.3 yards per rush attempt this year. That is seventh worst in the NFL. So running the ball is a key against the Eagles. Remember that. Cowboys offense also had a pass block win rate this entire year of 66%. So 2 out of 3 plays the Cowboys are blocking pretty well there. That is the 10th best in the NFL. The Eagles defense has a pair of pass rushers that have a win rate of 38%. That is the 12th worst in the NFL. And when I look at the other side of things for the Cowboys and the Cowboys defense have allowed 3 rushing touchdowns in our last 3 games. That is the fourth fewest in the entire National Football League. While the Eagles offense have scored 2 rushing touchdowns in their last 3 games. That is the third fewest in the NFL. Now, it doesn't mean they don't score touchdowns, just rushing touchdowns. But that's what the Cowboys need to do is improve on, you know, making sure we slow down, stop any kind of running ability for the Eagles, and that's kind of one of the keys to the victory for the Cowboys. Stopping the run is always a big topic when they have someone named Saquon Barkley in the backfield. Or if you're going against a Cowboy defense, which is usually lackluster. So you usually say let's run on this team. And stopping the run is major when they have Saquon Barkley going against a Cowboy defensive, run stopping team, which is one of the worst in the NFL. Although with Quinn Williams, we went from like 31st to like 24th, literally in 1 week. So this opportunity for a huge day running the ball for the Cowboys does exist in Denver. The last time these teams ended up playing, it was again the Cowboy defense did a good job of keeping Saquon Barkley in that first game of the year in check. And he started out pretty good, but he ended up with 60 yards on 18 carries. So 60 yards rushing on 18 carries. So now you add in there Quinn Williams. You know what I'm saying? And really solidify the strength inside to stop any kind of interior run from Saquon Barkley, giving him no space between the tackles with Clark in there as well, which is usually available on other teams and on the Cowboys in the past. So stopping that space is going to make it real difficult for Saquon Barkley to get through there without getting hit by either one of those linemen or a linebacker. So the Eagles, are going to try to probably push outside with hitting Saquon Barkley with some passes to the outside screen, some runs to the C gap. So look for those runs to the C gap. Look for the Barkley out of the backfield to catch passes. You know what I'm saying? And also watch Jalen Hurts throwing quick passes to wide receivers just to get that ball out quick, knowing that the pocket's going to be pushed in his face. And he's going to have to get out the pocket. It's going to go into the Cowboys' hands if that happens. So I'm looking for the Eagles to kind of do that there. Um, and as always, Jalen Hurts, is always a threat to run the ball. So the Cowboys kind of maybe should have a spy on the quarterback on that one. I don't know. The Cowboys, definitely have added some muscle to the defense, but the speed of the back seven. I'm talking about the corners, the safeties, maybe even a coverage linebacker or two. The speed of that system is why the Cowboys are not able to get to the mark right there. So again, the Cowboys have added a lot of new muscle on this defense. Logan Wilson, Quentin Williams, overshowing his back. Will this help the Cowboys slow down the Eagles' running game, slow down Jalen Hurts? I think overshown could be on Hurts in a way, watching him. And I think that's what it comes to when you take away Saquon Barkley and slow down the run, using those new guys and really making them double team you, leaving linebackers open to stop Saquon Barkley. Then you force Jalen Hurts to beat the Cowboys. You got to do that. The Eagles will take the easy stuff all day long if the Cowboys play 10 yards back like Everfluss does. If the Cowboy defense does a good job of filling gaps in the run and wrapping up and tackling, it would force Philly to look upfield more, which is not a good thing for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a very good football player, but he's not the most accurate passer. He has only a 76% on target passing percentage, ranking outside the top half of the league, which is not the worst thing in the world, but shows that he has a tendency to misfire the football at times. Often his throws are a little off when he gets pressured, making it difficult for receivers to catch the ball. Being on the same page with receivers has been a bit of an issue for Jalen Hurts in his most recent game. So again, you know, the Cowboys want Hurts throwing the ball a lot, ensuring the defenders create some congestion, some mix up in there. And, you know, also helps us not having to smother AJ Brown, Devontae Smith if you know we are forcing Hurts to throw the ball. They have not been that dominant this year. AJ Brown had some issues with with the Eagles not getting him the ball. So again, if the Cowboys have guys just nearby AJ Brown, nearby Devontae Smith, basically any off coverage zone stuff will make things easier for Jalen Hurts. So we can't do that. Instead, we have to kind of make him force Jalen Hurts to make good throws with Deron Bland, Kalen Carson, number 21, now Savon Revel Jr. The Cowboys have the cornerbacks who are a little bit more physical to jam at the line of scrimmage and stay close in man for a shorter time if needed than before, where there was no pressure at all, and guys had 10 minutes back there. They can make food. They have to check their notification. Then they throw a touchdown. So again, if the Eagles want to rely on Hurts stringing together good throws to win a game, the Cowboys' chances go up. That's what we want to see. We want to see the chances going up. Now, crossing routes and confusion. Everywhere you look, the Eagles have good defensive players. We're flipping this a little bit here, but they don't have good areas to exploit. So they aren't, the thing that they're not dominant in, is basically, kind of hiding what their issues are. And for that reason, the Cowboys offense must play to the Cowboys' strengths. Listen, the Eagles going to try to, uh, force the Cowboys to be one dimensional, but the Cowboys are going to still be running the ball enough to maybe even pop off close to 100 yards on the Eagles. We'll see what happens. But yeah, you know what? Cowboys try to balance things out with the run, like the Cowboys always do. But at some point, the game needs to go through CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens. And and I'm just saying that is the key, I think, to keeping the Eagles defense going backwards. Now, I will say this: the Eagles have some really good corners. Second year guys, Quentin Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are very solid. Their third corner is Adoree Jackson, who the Eagles signed to a cheap 1 year deal in March. These guys are going to make things challenging for Dak and the Cowboy passing attack. But Schottenheimer and the coaching staff should have some tricks in their sleeve to free up their star receivers like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Look for some, designed plays that have nice layering, different levels of options for Dak when he rolls out. And sometimes they'll fly back to the middle to help out Dak Prescott. So again, uh, crossing routes messes up the timing for defensive players. That's why the Cowboys got to do that, even if they're not blitzing. It would help the Cowboys if they did that. So the last four times that Dak Prescott has faced the Eagles, the last four times, and I mean in AT&T Stadium in Dallas, we've seen some big offensive performances. In those games, the Cowboys have scored on 33-yard touchdowns, 40-yard touchdowns, 41-yard touchdowns, and 37-yard touchdowns. So for an extra half, basically the Cowboys have scored, all these points here, basically an average of 38, points per contest. Um, you know, when Dak has faced the Eagles, Dak has thrown 9 touchdowns against the Eagles and just 2 interceptions in those 4 games against Philly. It would be great to see the Cowboy offense come out firing and hitting on all cylinders, be on the same page against this divisional piece of shit foe, this rival in the Eagles. But the Eagles defense, again, very good. The Eagles defense not allowed more than 10 points each of their last 2 games. And that's against a team like Detroit with a lot of weapons. So the Eagles defense not allowed more than 10 points in each of the last 2 games. If it happens a third time, the Cowboys are not winning this football game. There is no way the Cowboys are winning this football game. So again, while the point totals could land somewhere in between the previous high scoring affairs the Cowboys and Eagles have had. I'm saying that would give the Cowboys an advantage there. Each team will want to make every possession count in the end. Last week, Dan Campbell led the Lions missed out on points 2 or 3 times, squandered field possession by turning the ball over on downs in the middle of the field or in bad spots. They did it 5 times, guys, last week. They really let the Eagles win that game in a way. So even Nick Sirianni is notorious for making some questionable fourth down plays and decisions that almost have come back to bite him. We'll see if that happens this week. But I would not be surprised if a big fourth down play ends up being the difference maker in this game. So we have to really watch that kind of big play from Sirianni and company. The last couple of things I'm going to say here is that the Eagles, beat down 5 of Jared Goff's passes, knocked them down on Sunday night, creating a little fear when it comes to Dak and how many times Dak's passes have been clipped and tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it's been off the lines and back to back. In Denver, I think it was back to back. So Dak has been, having a unfortunate habit of flying a little too close to the ground, and it results in deflecting passes popping up in the air. Not the biggest deal that happens, but again, you got to be ready to knock that down if you're the offensive player, if you're the receiver, because you don't want anybody catching that ball or interception. So again, when these teams meet up, it always feels like somehow the football migrates into the hands of an Eagle defender when these kind of tips happen for the Cowboys and Eagles, and it's everything. Every quarterback that throws, it seems like the Eagles tip it, we screw it up there. So the Cowboys, in my opinion, have to be ready to maybe even do a tip of their own and get some power back. Make no mistake about this, guys. The Eagles defense is coming for Dak Prescott. The offensive line for the Cowboys are going to have their work cut out for them, and I think that's one of the bigger keys for Dak. Dak's going to be again likely to be under duress, and sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable without question. He cannot throw an interception or just throw a bad pass because he's getting pressure. You might have to take a sack sometimes if they got you. But Dak has to handle the pressure and not make a bad play worse. Last week against Max Crosby, caught him unexpectedly, resulting in that fumble and gave the Raiders the ball deep in Dallas territory. Again, that we saw when we were in our flight situation there. But we saw that play. We didn't really talk about that play. But yeah, that was a play where Dak got caught from behind from a relentless Max Crosby there. And why is he being relentless? Because our blocker was not being relentless on that play. So again, it comes down to they're coming for Dak. They're going to bring pressure. They're going to try to knock the ball down. The Cowboy offensive line is going to have their work cut out for them. So they're going to try to make Dak uncomfortable and not make things worse. That's basically it there. So again, even in those games at AT&T Stadium where Dak and the Cowboys dominated, those turnovers still showed up for the Cowboys. Those kind of showed turnovers. So again, and even though we won most of those games when it came to turnovers at home, do not count that against the Eagles on Sunday. No free goddamn touchdowns for the Eagles. That's the way I see that. I really hope you guys kind of got to see what I'm saying there. And I gave a couple thoughts there on how the Eagles fucking suck and how we can beat these assholes. So if we can do that, it would be a nice kind of back-to-back win for the first time. And maybe you never know. We get lucky and we could beat the Chiefs in Dallas. On Thanksgiving, we get a week to the Lions, who aren't playing great. Hey, we win 4 games out of the bye. That would put me into a situation where I'd be okay. We might have a shot to do something then. But I have to wait till that Detroit game, way back, way in the future there. So, um, fuck Philly, said Dallas Cowboys. Seabass in the house. Carter won't do shit. Booker will handle him. I think I agree with you. Booker's a real man beast in there in the middle there, but he does not. Maybe another year. I think he will have that Zach Martin strength. Let me see. What does it say here? Yeah, I see the video. That what happened? Quentin didn't do shit versus Pickens week 1. I'll have to see that. I did not see that one there. Seabass there. Let me see here. What's up, Danielberry Sports Highlights is in the highlights. Is in the house. Much love to you. Thank you to Char Baddies in the house here as well. Much love to everybody, guys. Thank you for stopping in here. Uh, my daughter will be in here very, very soon here. That's why I'm doing this one stream, and then you won't see us until game day. I hopefully will feel better for the game, and again, the wife hopefully will be much better than she is now, for sure. So, so let's see what happens here. Jared Jones in the house, Luis Ortiz in the house, Seabass in the house. Huh. You know what kind of brotherly love they want there, Jared. What's up, Luis Ortiz? Much love, man. Appreciate you. Seabass said, MCF, contrary to popular belief, I've seen Kansas and Detroit and Philly struggling. We got this. Yeah, I'm not really, nothing to lose for the Cowboys, number one. Remember that. But I do think this is a show for not these players we got make us look better this year. Maybe get us 2 wins, 3 wins. But I think these trades, and all these moves that went down, when it comes to the Cowboy team where we're at, going into the future, at least in the next 2 or 3 years, this kind of a bridge year. These years, I think we can still get these guys for bridge years that make the veterans kind of take ownership of this team and really create a new culture. You got to hope, right? You hope. Yeah, I see Dallas Cowboys R1. Yeah, Jerry Jones. Yeah, yeah. Seabass said we got all of them. We beat each other. We beat each before. Yep. Burley said, Jera says, brotherly love they are used to the blank in their blank. So yeah, Goff is so ass, says Seabass. Dallas Cowboys said, "Yeah, we got this." All right, hey, I am in this. I hope so. You'll probably get a better idea of what I think the score is going to be. But in my opinion, the Cowboys are going to have trouble against this very good Eagle defense. So I'm going to put this more like the Cowboys scoring about 17 points. 17 to 21 points. I think the Eagles would get like 20 to 24 points. Like I think that's like the range I think I would most likely think it happens. But I also think the Cowboys could pull out a victory here, and it would not be surprising to me if it was to happen. All right, Lewis, much love to you, man. Everyone's saying we got this here. Hey, I like watching this on TV and not the game. Fuck Jerry Jones and giving him money for the for going to the games, but I like watching it at games better than I mean watching it at home better than at games because it just gets it's too many distractions to watch the game. You know what I mean? So yeah, Philly hating on Hurts for the drama, but they winning says Seabass. Yep. Did I see the video? Which video? I don't know which video you're talking about, but I know that Jared Jones hates our Cowboys. On that note, guys, that is everything. I think is that everything on my side. It is everything. Hey, there you go. How long was this stream? I don't know how I made it through it, guys. This is a rough one for me. An hour and a half, basically, when this thing ends. Thank you all for being here, hanging with me. Hey, we didn't hit the goal. It's all good. It's still had 20 minutes left, but we didn't hit the goal. Thank you to the lunatic and skeptical fan who hit this board and are on the tops, moving on up this board, so to speak. Thank you guys for being in here, hitting that like and subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and dropping your knowledge in here. And I hear you, man. KC and Detroit, they're not as good as the people say they are. I don't even think the Eagles are as good as people say they are with their record. So, we'll have to wait and see. Dak owns Philly, said Lewis. Here's a fun fact and brotherly love. Yeah, I know about that one. Jerry Jones said the video of the school kids punching out players. Yes, I did see that video. That sucked. Cowboys said Jared is referring to the. Yeah, I got you. Yes, yes, yes. Texas sports love. And I can't see it on here, which sucks. I wish I could see it on here, but YouTube screwed it all up and changed it. Anyways, guys, thank you all. Hit that like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us on all social media. You know the deal. Here on this channel, here we try to bring it to you guys here at least twice a week. Used to be every night. A lot schedules changed. And again, like something like this happens. We were out of town 1 week. Last week we were at a tour at a festival. This week we're basically sick, but we make it. We still making these games. We're still making these games somehow. So and again, a nice shitty season, but it's always fun to beat the Eagles. I don't care what the goddamn records are. So let's try to beat the Eagles this weekend. Fuck Philly. You know what to do. I got you. I got you. Oh man, I got my sore throat there. Starting to come on. You can hear that, right, guys? I'm like, oh man, killing me here. But yeah, Texas sports lover. Much love to you, Luis Ortiz, Jared Jones, skeptical fan, Seabass, the lunatic. Can't do this without you guys. And I think, as the wife says, I always ask her, why do we do this here on My Cowboys Family? It's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. You know that deal there, Meatball Ron. You know the deal. Also, and it's been a bad season, below average. But here in this channel, win, lose, or draw, and we had a draw this year. Good, bad, or ugly. It's been ugly this year. On this channel, we always still rep this star over your favorite player, over your favorite coach, over all the owners, over Jerry fucking Jones. We rep that star over everything. That's the way it goes. And for almost 9 years on this channel, on YouTube, on the YouTube streets here on My Cowboys Family, thank you for being here. But yeah, don't ever forget this channel here, My Cowboys Family, the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, it's Cowboys. You know the deal. Sorry to break the speakers there, guys. I have to do that every single time. You know it. Yeah, no Tito's tonight, Jerry. I'm gonna be up early. My daughter's gonna be coming in, so it's gonna be a daughter fun-filled weekend here. Hopefully, you know, get to see what's going on. This is the first real full weekend. My daughter is in. She was in here for a little bit here and there, like for the weekend, like a half a day or something like that. First time she's gonna be here for like 2 days. So I'm looking forward to it. I always, of course, we talk and all that stuff, but it's different. I miss her, and I don't. I'm getting away from the football stuff and all these things here um, until after until the Cowboy game, which she has to leave at the Cowboy game anyway. So when the Cowboy game kicks off, she'll be on the road back to college. So, um, we'll see you guys then here, my Cowboys family. Thank you for dropping the knowledge in the chat. Thank you for dropping the love from above. But we have to now drop out of here and relock and reload for game day on Sunday afternoon. Let's go. Fuck Philly, right, Meatball Ron? Fuck Philly. Go Cowboys. You know how it goes. And before we can officially, as the wife always says, we got to do something before we drop out of here for the night. So, guys, before we can drop out for the night, we got to drop the beat. Oh, yeah, that beat's been dropping. It's a rap, rapidy rap. You know it. You know the beat was dropping. Drop that beat. Yeah, Luis Ortiz, Meatball Ron. Jerry said, fuck Philly. Let's go. We'll see you guys with the lights, camera, action, live stream reaction. Philadelphia Eagles and the Cowboys, Sunday, 4:25 Eastern, 3:25 America's time. Set your clocks accordingly. We'll see you soon, guys. Thank you. Much love. Hit the like, subscribe, and that bell. You could be anywhere. You're here with us. And don't forget to do those things. If you can, that'd be great. But yeah, thank you for being here with us. Listen to all the Cowboy news, info, and updates. The recap of the Raider win. The preview of the fucking Philly game. Whoops. That Philly game. Oh, I hate Philly. That's why we got this. Bang, bang, they dead. Let's hope we do that this week in Dallas. We got new defensive players, number 92, Quentin Williams, that really opened up things and really gave us the inside, the interior Micah Parsons in a way. We'll see how they handle that on the run and in the air. For us, though, we got a run. We got a guy who has got those yards under his belt here. Second best yards, hitting over 800 yards in 10 games since Ezekiel Elliott in 2019. So great job of Jonathan Williams. But you can see the stars right there, the 2 stars, 3 and 88. 4 got to get the ball to them. That's the key. And we can do that. We can really get some momentum in this game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Here at MCF, it's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star always over everything. Never forget the number one thing right here, my Cowboys family. You guys hit that like, hit subscribe, and hit that notification bell to all videos. Follow us on Discord. We got that in the comment section or in the description section. Make sure you guys follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family. That's Twitter, all social media at My Cowboys Family. All the information is in the description. Guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Stay safe and much love to all. As you do the outro, peace. And never forget, Cowboys. Monk on the beat.